I have it.
I'm sorry, I turned the recording off, but I turned it back on. Sure.
Okay, awesome. So awesome. I'll share my screen. Hold on one second. I'm just making sure I have it pulled up. I do.
So what we're going to do, we're going to learn how to get people in, and then we're going to figure out how to organize them. So this is a very, very good starting point.
Can everyone see my screen?
Yep.
So right now, here I am within my KW command system. Right here, I see my database health score. What we're really looking for is to hit this red KW in the top left corner. When you hit that red KW, this will toggle over all of your different names. Until you have all of the different applets memorized, it's really important to hit that KW so you associate the word with the symbol. If you jump down to contacts, which is right here, we can open up contacts. If we wait a few minutes, it should load. Perfect. I guess I lied in the chat. I have a little less than 1,500 contacts. So there's two different ways on this text desktop version you can add contacts. The first, obviously, is you can hit this add contact button. When you're adding the contact, first name, last name, email, phone number, as you go down, you can hit add more information. This will allow you to have these drop downs to add additional phone numbers and emails, home address, Facebook URL profile, the Facebook about sections, etc. One of the benefits of adding the Facebook URL section, if you have it, is through the campaign section later on in the Ignite. You'll learn about doing campaigns. That is beneficial in the future. But anyways, you can add contacts this way. Hit import, and you can download a CSV file right here. This will download to the computer. When this is opened up, in order to open this up, the easiest way to do it is if you log in to your KW email and open up a Google Sheet. You can then open up the CSV file. Would you like me to show how to open up a CSV file in Google Sheets?
I think it might be getting down into the weeds when we get into there.
Yeah,
Let's stop. I agree.
But one good point to bring up there too, when you're adding contacts, think of that contact as your profile of your client or somebody in your sphere. There's also a section in there where you can add notes. So when you're going through and doing things like making your calls and what have you, you could have that file open right up. You can be looking at your call notes from previous calls. If you don't have a call notes from previous calls, you can go to Facebook and do a little research, get a little data on them, kind of populate the notes. So you'll have touch points or talking points when you're talking to your folks. A lot of times we struggle for what should we be saying to them. We want to keep in mind you're learning scripts called the Ford script, that it's friends and family, recreation, occupation, and dreams. And there's where you're putting your notes. So that way there you'll have instant recall, and your folks will think you have a great memory. They don't know you're just kind of gazing through the your notes section. And it's like a timeline of your conversations over the last, if you're in business for 3 years, 5 years, or even 10 years, you'll have a log there of everything you've discussed or special interests of your clients. Their kids' names and birthdays and things of that nature in there, references to spouses' names and things of that. And that's where you're going to keep it all. So it's in one spot. That's what a database or data bank, as Deb alluded to earlier, that's what it's going to do for you. So you're able to develop those relationships, nurture those relationships, and keep track of them and know where people are in their lives.
Right. So let's see, can I go back to my screen share? Yeah, so this is exactly what Roger's talking about. So you have your people, you get them all into your system, whether you obviously talk to your market center tech trainer and get your contacts in and learn how to get that done. And also, like Roger said, when you're taking notes, lead generating should be done at a purposeful time, where you're sitting somewhere and you're in front of your computer. Yeah, we make all of our calls while we're driving, but if you really want to be purposeful, particularly if you're new and you're trying to set this up, sit yourself down, have command open, and this is what we want to look at, the 3 levels of like the database, right? Absolutely positively, you want to get as much information as you can. And we're gonna, in different clients have different levels of, attention you want to give them, you know what I mean? So the first one, obviously, you want name, contact info, past business and past contact record, anything you can drag up from the past. And then with these kind of people, you're just gonna, what they call at-will communication. And these are people, that you sort of, you're just not sure how much you're going to communicate with them. As you move forward, you're going to obtain permission from them. Hey, do you mind if I give you a ring every now and then, kind of thing? You want to collect some personal information and insights on and preferences on the person. And then you want to segment them into 6 groups, really, if you want to, and you can figure out how you want to do that. And again, you want to be purposeful and consistent communication. Every time you do lead generating, it has to be the most important thing. And after a while, you're going to start noticing some similarities with people. And then you're going to start grouping them. Maybe they live in the same neighborhood, or they like the same sports team, or they're in church, or whatever it is. Wherever you go, make sure and take meticulous notes, so you really do know what, so you really do know what they're all about. And all of these pieces of information gathered are useful to you, no matter how trivial the information can be. It is something that you'll want to know, and people really do appreciate when you remember things. And once you get everything in, you can start moving on more of an automated system, where you can put things into smart plans, and where things are happening a little bit more without you having to do it all the time, every minute of the day. There's lots of times that you're going to want to connect with people, and then the better your information is, the more likely it's going to be more effective. Correct. We always want to make sure that we're consistent with our communication, and making sure that the leads and your contacts are touched at a high level, depending on their needs. We want to make sure we want to make sure that we're touching your database, your contacts, calling them at least 4 times a year, quarterly. You want to make sure you call everybody quarterly, and you want to make sure you have some sort of touch every month, whether it's an email, newsletter, market report, some sort of video that you do. People, the interest in videos is really huge. We want to make sure we have a direct mail, something to them once or twice a year, birthday card, holiday card, football calendar, magnet, whatever you do. And then you want to have some kind of a thing that you see them somewhere at least once a year. Remember, this real estate is a long-term game, so this is really what you want to be doing. And why we want to use a database is because we want to avoid this trap called the today trap. Has anybody ever heard of that term?
Yeah, that's the term when we start chasing our tail, right?
Yep, it's a little bit
Running
about
around being busy, right?
Yeah. Anybody else have a thought on what the today trap means?
Not really planning for the future, just working on today and not setting up your leads for tomorrow.
Yep.
Right.
Tomorrow and next week and next month, right? We always talk about the size of your database determines the size of your business. So it's, when you're having a system, you're going to take advantage of, predictable return on your investment, because in return on your time, if we start looking forward and having things in a plan, so it'll be predictable a little bit more. So let's look at, this. So today's business and tomorrow business. Without a database, your business is really only built on today. You're running around and you're just doing what you're doing today. And that's really never a good thing. So let's talk about this one, this little chart, why use a database? So NAR states that people move about every 10 years. I'm not sure if that's still accurate or when that came in, but I feel like that's pretty typical. And if you're only focusing on people doing, today, then you're only focusing on about 10% of your business. So within 10 years, if you haven't been connecting with people, maybe it's 5 years, you're going to be long forgotten. There is some very good stats out there about surveys that are done after somebody buys a home and how happy they were with their agent. And the level of satisfaction with the real estate agent is up almost into the 90s. The last thing I had seen was 87% of the buyers would use their agent again, but when that time comes, they don't use that agent again because they kind of didn't ever hear back from them or anything else from them. And we all know agents that, send that, people that have had a new magnet every year for 20 years on their refrigerator, and that's a good agent. So we always want to, take control of this and have purposeful, consistent approach to how you want to build your path for your future, and repeat and continue to connect with that sphere of influence. So let's see what else. So here's, you have your 100 people, right? And then one of the 100, out of 100, 65 are looking to be homeowners and 35 are not. That makes sense? I'm sorry, my screen is not working very good here. So we want to just make sure that Roger, are you looking at the presentation as well?
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
So
having
it's-
a little hard time over here.
Why use your database? So if you shut down any app, anything you have open, that'll help your
Yeah,
screen move up,
I have some,
just
yeah, okay,
keep Zoom open and just your slideshow.
okay. All right, I'm just gonna continue on here. I'm gonna have to get through this.
So the point of that is
Yeah.
that people are at different stages in their lives. So if everybody's generally speaking moving means moving. Some people are relocating down south. Some people are moving up. They're downsizing and moving up. Some people are moving, selling the bigger home and moving into over 55 communities. That stat's there. In the irony of that whole stat, and Deb alluded to it earlier, is people say they're happy with their agent that they worked with, but 10 years later, if that agent hasn't been staying top of mind, and not just staying top of mind by sending magnets in marketing materials, keeping in contact or in some sort of relationship, utilizing the 4 quarterly phone calls every year. And how would you track and keep track of that? If you think of what you just looked at, all those faces, that's like a wall of people to try to keep in touch with, and it becomes overwhelming. So that's why people fall through the cracks. They lose contact. They lose that connection. It's like high school, 2 or 3 people you might be still in contact with high school, but same with college. You're losing track of those folks, and the database allows you to systematically stay in touch with those people, stay top of mind for your marketing pieces, but also stay in some sort of relationship. And some will be stronger than others, and that's okay, because it's a professional relationship with some, where you're just reaching out, and you may not speak to them directly every time. It may just be a message that you're leaving behind. Hey, this is Roger Ring from Keller Williams. If it was a former contact from an open house, just checking in on you, seeing how you're doing. Just wanted to wish you happy holidays, depending on the situation. Check in, see how your summer's going. If you had any plans for this summer, feel free to give me a call back at your leisure. Boom. At least you've touched and you showed that effort to stay in touch and stay into a relationship. Even if they don't call you because they're busy, you're planting seeds that you're still out there, you're still willing and want to stay in touch and stay in some sort of relationship. And we call it lead generation, and I call it, relationship generation. So over time, it stays there. So when they come to the point of they're thinking about selling, you're there. And all of a sudden the phone rings and they think it's serendipity. Oh my God, I was thinking about you the other day. We're thinking about putting the house on the market. It might take 7 to 10 years, but you'll hear those words coming back to you, and keeping in mind as well that your database is that place where you park all that information so you can stay in touch systematically. And we call, we have a system called the DTD2, which is do the database, 2 letters of the alphabet. And that just helps you move through that database so that you don't get all lost. Well, where was I? Who did I talk to last? Well, you just follow the system. And you'll learn more about that when you take bold. and or when you talk to your coaches as well.
I have a question on
Absolutely.
that.
Go ahead.
Is that automated in command? So those two letters?
So you'll set up tags, DTD2 tags, and later on in the show, so to speak, Ben will show us how to do that.
The show.
But if you Google Keller Williams DTD2, you'll get a video, and there's a table with the D's, A's and W's, B's and E's, and so on. And it's basically what it is. There's 26 letters in the alphabet. If you break them down into 2-letter groups, that means you're going to be contacting those folks 4 times a year. And sometimes you'll get through to them and have an honest to God conversation. And other times you might be just leaving a message. And remember, contact means call, you can text, you can email, you can instant message in Facebook. And we're looking for 2-way contacts is what we're counting. Because if we're just leaving messages, that's great, that's wonderful, but you really want to get through to them and or face to face. And those are the contacts that we're trying to count and keep track of. And that's what Deb means by purposefully working through your database.
Right, because you can send a million emails, you can send all kinds of things, but if they never hear from you, they're just not going to connect. I don't know how many people heard from their insurance person during COVID. Anyone? You know, you're supposed to connect with people, you know, and constant simply emails. We all get them. I get an email every month from 2 lenders. They work in the same company and it's the same one. And I know it's just their thing, but why don't you call me? They never ever call me, and I laugh every month when I see it. So anyways, you know, we want to make sure that we're doing what we need to do here. So that DTD2 is the way to fly too. Make sure that when you're adding your database, you just take the time and you can bulk tag, right, Ben? You go, and also that the
Yes.
letters are corresponding with the last name, the first letter of their last name. This week, I believe it's A and W. So essentially you call everybody that's their last name begins with A, you know, and you can filter and search in command all your people with the last name, whatever, Allen and Albert and Armstrong and all of that. And you're just calling them. And then it's a little going forward. You can put them on a smart plan where they get an email from you the next day. That it's automated. Hey, thanks so much for taking your time. I mean, you don't push the button to do the smart plan if you haven't connected. And then they can get in 3 weeks, they can get in text from you. Hey, just checking back in. How's everything going? And then maybe, you know, 4 weeks later, whatever it is, it's going to send you a task to say, go on to social media and look up, you know, Joe Armstrong and do a quick message to him on Facebook or like something. And before you know it, now you're at the next quarter. So these things can really be done. So let's talk about, does anybody have any questions on that? We could go in forever on smart plans and DTD2, but the point is, let's do things that make the most sense for us as particularly newer agents. And, you know, the best thing that I like is 3 things you want to consider, right? Using your database doesn't cost really much. Yes, we all have some sort of fee within the office, right, to pay for our technology. But at the end of the day, compared to other things that you can spend money on, it's pretty low cost. It's the cheapest customer acquisition strategy, you know, to work with existing customers and people you know. You have, when properly built and maintained, a database will actually end up producing its own leads in the forms of repeat business and clients and referrals, and it pays for itself. A database makes it easier to do consistent follow-up, and when you're good at consistent follow-up, the results lead and end up paying for themselves. And there's another thing with your database. It's very important in the beginning to connect with people that you know before you're chasing around people that you don't know. And why would that be? Thoughts on that?
Well, my thoughts, you don't want to be a secret agent. If you're going to be in business, be in business. You've got a license in your pocket that allows you to sell real estate. Whether you tell anybody or not, you can still sell real estate. But if you let them know about you and let them know you're in business, Now you're
Yeah.
planting seeds for them to reach out to you, and you want to be their resource. You want to, that's part of your scripts when you're talking to them is, I just want to be considered a resource if you have any real estate related questions. For those of you who struggle with asking for business, think of what you're doing. You're really not asking for any business. The business will come with the activities that you do today. They're going to pay off, 3 to 6 months down the road. So really these first initial phone calls are just, hey, hellos, care calls, reconnection calls. Hey, sorry, I haven't called you. I feel like a bum. I haven't called you in so long. I'm trying to do better at that. I'm just calling to check in, see how you're doing. What's new? How are the kids doing? If they have kids, how, depending on your relationship, how's your mom doing? How's the husband? How's the wife? Whatever the case may be. And there you go. You're talking about friends and family, or, if they have certain hobbies. Oh, last time we chatted, you guys were planning a trip down to Aruba. Were you able to do that with the COVID situation? How's that been treating you? And it's just small talk, and what you're doing is you're just reconnecting, reigniting that relationship that was there in the past. And it maybe has been a long time, 6, 8 months, in some cases, 3 or 4 years, if it's somebody back in high school or back in college. Reaching out to those people doesn't mean you have to reach out to all of them, but pick the top 5 or the top 10 in all of those segments of your life and go back and reconnect to them. Start with Facebook. Friend request them on Facebook, do a little research on them, check out what they've been up to in the past, comment on their Facebook page and comment on what's going on in their life, and then tiptoe into it and reach out and make the phone call. I was thinking about you today. I saw something on Facebook and it made me think of you. Boom. You're in a conversation. It's all you're trying to do. Just get into a conversation.
And that's the thing. And you're right, Roger. And we use that term secret agent a lot because as coaches, we see it a lot. And we're trying to, help you guys not do that because, I don't want to call and bug anybody. And I don't want to try to be salesy. And I don't, like Roger said, you have a license in your pocket, you're allowed to, and these people are your contacts and their friends. And hopefully they do want to hear from you. They're in your phone.
They do want to hear from you, right? They like you, you like them. They do want to hear from you.
Right. And that's the point, the thing called, why we say connect with people that you know first before chasing around people you don't know, because they like you, they probably trust you and care about you. And that being salesy thing, you're not selling anything. If you think you can sell have somebody spend $500,000 on something because you're standing in the kitchen pointing, no, you're there to give value and help them. You're offering value, you're offering a service, you're not trying to sell them anything. So that's a sort of a mindset thing and a thing you have to shift in your head a bit when you're doing this database stuff, when you're connecting with people, because you just want to make sure that you're coming from contribution and you're offering to help. So we won't go on and on about that, but I just want to make sure that you're, not doing that. I don't want that call avoidance because, I don't want to sound salesy. You're just calling to say hi. And they'd probably be very happy to hear from you. So let's continue on though. Are we still on screen share? Nope. All right, here we go. So let's just get back into it. So we want to develop our database, right? We've talked a little bit about how we want to be prospecting, and marketing and making sure that we're, doing what we need to be doing. Oh my God, this screen, I so apologize for this. All right. Okay. So, so we have marketing and prospecting. Marketing, reaching out to people we know. We always want to in the beginning for it to be a little bit less money. So we want to be, if you're doing marketing and sending out things, it can be intensive. And long-term, we want you to be doing proactive, immediate results kind of stuff. Remember, we want you to have a new piece of business within 2 weeks. We want you making sure we're having appointments. You want to have a couple of appointments every week. So we can do some tagging too when we're putting people into the program. And Ben, you can talk about this a little bit. We have certain kinds of tags you can put in when you're adding contacts. You've got business relationships, active clients, past clients, someone who's referred you business, hobbies, interests, property types, investors. These are the kind of tags. And of course, you want to do the DTD2 tags.
Now, so just talking about this for 1 second, one of the most important reasons why we're going into the database and tagging all of these different people with all of these different tags is because we can utilize any of these tags to be the trigger for any of our smart plans. So by tagging your system, tagging everyone in your database, you can then go through the library of smart plans that other agents across the country have been creating. And you can then utilize those same smart plans and utilize the tags that you created in your system to activate those smart plans. So it is important to have them separated, the D2, those
DTD2,
exactly that.
the worst name for a thing. Yeah.
Exactly. I did share a video in the chat which goes through with you how to apply that to your system and what smart plan to utilize in order to apply that, the quarterly call smart plan. That is in the chat. You can color code tags. This is really important because if you are utilizing these tags to trigger smart plans in order to automate your activities, it can get really confusing if you're all using the same color tag. So agents, at least in my office, they look at these colors and they look at as, okay, what are the different groupings of activities that I can do or I can provide that I may need to utilize in the future to do smart plans. Maybe I have red for open house follow-up tags. Okay, I have orange for XYZ. It's up to you, but there is a system for colors. And if you look up KW answers, you can get something that other agents have done in the past as a reference if you want. I'm going to turn it back over.
Okay, so yeah, obviously, you know, as you're building your database, you want to make sure you customize them and use particular tags that make sense to you. Do you think, Ben, you should have 1 million different tags or just start off with a few? What is your recommendation?
You want to start off with the different tags in order to immediately apply the smart plans within your database. So KW creates 10, or I think it's 10 now, created smart plans that you can utilize as agents. So how I think about it is the most important ones to put on there is the DTD2 ones. It would be the, okay, if I want to promote my app, right? Hey, this person is tech savvy enough to actually want my app. Let me put on a tag there saying, okay, app smart plan, right? I want to utilize that later. Once you tag everyone, then you can go apply with that tag. So I really like thinking about it that way. Let's tag them in an order in which we're utilizing the tags efficiently. So by adding different tags, does that make sense, Deb?
Yeah, I just want to make sure. So again, we're going a little deeper into it, but it's important for people to understand when you have somebody in your database, just say you have 10 people in there that are like, you know, that are tech savvy, and you want to tag them as, hey, I'm going to shoot these guys a little plan about doing my, downloading my app.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, my question to you, Ben, is if you add somebody called a tag called techie, you know, or something, so, and then you
definitely do that. There's predetermined tags that are already loaded into your system, where if you go through them, you'll see, okay, pre-tags like sphere is in there, pre-tags like buyer, seller. Those normal ones that KW thinks you should utilize are already within your system. But your system does give you the ability to add your own tags into your system and create custom tags, which you can utilize for your projects. et
Okay,
cetera.
so I guess my question, and again, we don't want to go too deep, but will certain tags automatically trigger a smart plan?
Yes.
Yeah.
If you set it
And-
up that way.
Okay, all right, good. So again, I want everybody to, after Ignite, set up a meeting with their Market Center tech trainer and say, give me 20 minutes, help me make sure that I'm doing some things right. There's a lot of published smart plans that one can download into their own command, but you have to make sure that you then go in and edit them, because it could be a smart plan from Texas and the slang is a little bit different, or California, and they talk about the beautiful weather. We can't have any smart plans that talks about beautiful weather here in New England, so certainly find and sit, and hopefully your tech trainer has a couple nice simple ones for a newly licensed agent to, I like the DTD2 one because you can, it has an automated thing that right after you've had that call, you just go blink and then they get things automatically from you. And then it prompts you to call again. So you're never going to forget anybody through the whole year, so to speak. So that's basically what we're going to do. You're going to it's time on task over time. You're going to just really, you're going to really build your business. Anybody have any questions?
Hi, my name is Praveen. I work at KW Cambridge office. I'm sorry, my dog is barking right
And
now.
we have cats, dogs. It's fun.
Yeah. So my question is, I have not been comfortable sharing the app these days because I realize my clients are finding info about properties even before our KW app. So I just wanted to ask, has that been updated? Is there anything new I don't know about?
So
Go
it
ahead.
has been updated. January, the end of the year 2021, they did push some updates with Command in the past few months. Now that has increased the usability of the Command app, both KW Command app and the one you're referring to for consumers, which is your app. If you would like, we can all include my email in the chat. If you would just send me an email about this, I would be more than happy to let you know the answer.
Yeah, so some of the concerns with the app are, it was not really consumer friendly, and I think the better it gets,
Right.
I can say one more thing, and that is that your app is connected to your website. Your application, the feed that is coming through to the KWLS is coming from the MLS. So if you have them on an MLS drip campaign, they would be receiving those properties sooner than they would show up on your KWLS app or any other third-party search real estate website. So it all goes through the MLS. So as long as you have them on a drip campaign on that MLS, they will get the properties instantly from the that come onto the market. Your application is for them to always use your services. If you notice, if you go onto your app or your website and you look for a house in California, if you have your buyer, the consumer within using your app and using your website, no matter what house they're looking for across the country or the world, they are, when they hit Ask Agent, it tells them that you're the contact for the agent. So when they hit Ask Agent, it contacts you. So even if your friend Joe from Massachusetts that lives in Melrose, let's say, I don't know, just random name, is a investor, let's say, and you don't know, but he's actually interested in properties in California and Florida, but he just didn't tell you because you're a Massachusetts agent. If he goes and looks for properties on your app in California or Florida, and then goes ask agent, now you can go, okay, awesome, I'm going to pull up the referral applet, contact the agent in Florida or California, send them the referral, so then now you're getting the 25% commission fee. The reason why it's your database is literally your business, in my view, is because as long as they're using your website or your application, they're going to be contacting you no matter what house they get anywhere in the country. I don't know a software currently that exists right now, like Zillow or Realtor.com, where if you are an agent and you go to that website and you're looking for a house, if your client reaches out to a person in California, that's going to start them on drip campaigns within their own CRM systems,
Right.
Realtor.com, etc. I just love the website. I can talk about this forever. I'm gonna
All right, good, good. I'll have to get you into the market center for, or, what do you call it, training? Because, you know, I think we're all a little bit like, ugh, we're not quite 100% understanding it and making sure that we're using it correctly. So
Well,
let's
thank
do, go ahead.
Man.
So just to expand on that real quickly, think of the consumer app as a business card that's in their phone, so to speak. It's not to substitute for that conversation. So if you have an active client that you're working with, you don't want them working out of your consumer app at that point. At that point, you've engaged, you've signed them up as a buyer client, you've signed an agreement, and you've got them on direct MLS drip campaign, and they're getting those emails directly from MLS as opposed to having to go to a third-party site. People always go to those third-party sites because they're
Yeah.
comfortable and they're used to it a lot of times.
Yeah.
You're in there engaging them on it. If you're working with somebody, you're going to be talking to them on a daily, minimum weekly basis. Every time something comes up on MLS, you're reaching out to them,
Yeah,
being
they're active,
proactive,
for
saying,
sure.
hey, have you seen this property? It just came up this morning. That goes back to what we talked about earlier with hot sheets and things of that nature. Once you're working with somebody, they're off your app, they're off the third party, they're directly connected to MLS because you've set them up on that, and you're having conversations with them, if not daily, every other day, and you're actively pursuing them and getting them out to see properties. In the other case, if they're a listing, you've got them hooked up and they're getting a drip campaign from the MLS to see what their competition is on a weekly basis, and you're having at least one conversation, if not more, every week with those active types of clients. Consumer app and the technology is there to offload some of the heavy lifting that you might have to do for people that are thinking about buying 6 months to a year down the road. Anybody who's thinking about buying in 3 months or earlier, you're
You gotta
talking
be
to
on-
them
you gotta be
weekly
on 'em,
at
right.
minimum.
So let's talk a little bit. Let's go to back to the program. And I think as we move forward, this is what we should do. It's almost 10, but okay, let me get back to the thing here. So we're talking about, we've got the app, we've got smart plans, we've got campaigns, but let's back it right down to the good old phone call. The phone call that people avoid that you're going to be doing every day. So I think we're talking about, we have to, if you put them on a system and you're going to connect with them every quarter, let's start with today. We're going to be calling everybody in our database every morning, correct? We're not just going to once in a while call them. We're going to be sitting for 2 hours or 1 hour. So I'd like to talk a little bit and do some scripting on that. How does that phone call go? You haven't talked to them for maybe you haven't talked to them in forever. So that's one kind of call. So, hey, and then, or you talked to them 4 months ago, they've got a couple of emails from you and a text message, time to call them again. So do we want to go into some breakout rooms, practice some calls? Because I know people are not calling people, and I want to make sure we get over that. So let's go into some breakout rooms. Let's do some scripting. Somebody take charge in the breakout room and say, okay, we're going to talk. We're going to make a phone call. Let's take turns. We'll do it for about 10 minutes, and then we're going to come back and we're going to figure out what we've learned. I want to hear from you guys how you feel when you make phone calls, right? So everybody cool
Before we
with
get
that?
in there, grab your
Yeah.
script books
Yeah,
And,
get your script books out.
You're gonna practice the new agent script, basically.
All right, so let's stop share here. So let me see how cool I can be and get this, get some breakout rooms. So get your script book out. Somebody take lead when in the rooms. Let me just see how many we can get in here.
There's
So
about
we've
42
got,
people on the call.
oh geez, okay, so how many
So if we do
automatically assign?
groups of 3, maybe?
Yeah, let's
Something like
go here. Yeah, let's do, well, 4 to 5 participants. And I just want to create, and I just don't know the time, how long it's gonna take, how long it'll give them, but we'll just see how it goes.
Well, it'll give you an option for the time.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Add a room, recreate options. Let's do 10 minutes.
Yep.
10. All right, guys, go for it. Make it happen. Open all rooms. Hopefully everybody's getting a thing. Yep. See where I land. Oh, Demay's on, yay. Oops, let's see the chats. Janet. Trying to see who's everybody's in rooms here. I think this must be our room. Barbara, Janet, are we in our own room? Everybody's sort of rolling along here. Okay, who do we have in our room? Janet, you in the room with me? Or were you invited to a room? Oh, okay. All right, we're not gonna script. How about you, Barbara? Are you in our room? Supposed to be 3. All right, let me just see. Well, you can't, I don't have anybody to script with. That's okay, no worries. Barbara, can you hear the program? Hello?
Are you talking to me?
Yeah,
Barbara.
yeah, yes.
Okay.
I'm trying to determine if you're in the room. We have people here that they're not going into rooms. So I'm assuming that they're just sort of listening maybe or driving or something. So I didn't know if you want to do some scripting regarding making phone calls.
Sure.
All right, good. So do you want to be, how about I'm your friend that we used to work together at the dentist office, and you're going to call me up and we're going to talk a little bit. You want to do that?
Sure. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we do. We want to make sure that you're calling people that you haven't talked to maybe in a while. And so why don't we start? So you go ring, 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 and I'll answer. And I'm going to go off video. That's even better. Have you done a lot of script practicing, Barbara?
No, I haven't done that yet.
All right, so let's do it the other way around. You be
Okay.
my friend that I haven't talked to in a while, and just gonna, I'm gonna call you up. So, and you're gonna answer and pretend we used to work at the dentist office. Okay, so ring, ring, ring.
Hi, Deb. Hello, Deb.
Hi, Barbara. This is Deb Hayes over at Keller Williams. I feel like I haven't talked to you in forever. How's it going?
Very well. Thank you.
Yeah. How are you managing all this COVID stuff?
It's been a little tough, but we're getting through it.
All right, good, good. Yeah, I wanted to reach out to you. As you know, I'm over at Keller Williams, and I don't want to bug you, but I just want to say hello, and I'm trying to be better at, connecting with people, and, just want to check in on you. I'm glad you're surviving COVID. How was your holidays?
Well, we did try to connect as much as we could safely, and a lot of FaceTime this year, and trying to stay safe.
Yeah, I mean, That's all anybody could do. And I mean, it's been challenging for sure. How about work? Have you been going to work or? what do you like?
Yeah, I have actually, because I have stayed safe, so I've managed to continue to go to work, and that's been going fine actually.
All right, cool. Yeah, we've been crazy busy. We've had a lot of you know, I don't know if you see anything on TV or whatever, but there's a ton of business out there and a lot of buyers are, it's been challenging. We have a lot of buyers and not a lot of inventory, but that's the way it goes. So what are you going to be doing in the summer? You're going to go down the Cape like you usually do, or no?
Um, yes. This year, I've been thinking more and more that it's so hard to go away and stay in a hotel nowadays and
Yeah.
feel safe. Um, now that you were calling me, I'm kind of thinking of maybe having a place of our own this summer
Oh,
down.
yeah.
Yeah.
You're thinking about buying maybe something?
Maybe.
Yeah,
I'm
all right,
thinking,
cool.
I'm just thinking about it. And it's
Yeah.
yeah.
That's cool. Well, you know, maybe we'll catch up. I'll follow up with you sometime. Maybe we'll grab a coffee or you know, we can talk more about it, you know? I know
Now
you
that now that you're calling me, it's coming to mind that, I was thinking about that over the holidays.
Awesome.
What will we do next summer?
Absolutely. Well, let's talk more about that. I know I don't want to keep you. I know you've been busy and you got to run to your, to your meeting, but let's make
Yeah.
sure we set up. I'm going to give you a call next week. Why don't we, just have a coffee or something? If you want to just do it on Zoom, maybe we put together a little plan of maybe if you're going to do something. If not, no worries. Always good to catch up.
Okay. Thank you
All
for
right,
calling.
cool. All right, I'll let you go and, I'll shoot you a text or I'll shoot you an email next week. Let me make sure I have your right email, blah, blah, blah. You're going to tell me your email.
Yeah.
All right. Talk to you later. So that's kind of what the direction of your calls to people should be, really not about business. It's really just how are they doing? It's the
Yeah.
second and third call is when you kind of hit them up for a little bit, more, and as we were talking about with Benjamin, you can plop somebody on a smart plan that, will send them something, that says, hey, thanks for your time on the phone because I've actually spoken to you. And then they can automatically get some information, they can get repeat information from you and then you'll follow up with your let's go get coffee thing. So, the purpose of the call is just to chat. It's not to try to sell them anything. It's more about let's catch back up, So how did that feel?
That was comfortable.
All right. Do you want to do another one the other way around? I'm your friend that we used to work together. Now you're going to call me as the cold call. All right. So you do ring, 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 and I'll answer as your friend. So you're calling me.
Oh, okay. Ding.
Hello.
Hi, Deb.
Hey, what's up?
It's Barbara.
Oh, hey, Barbara. How are you doing?
Just thought I'd call you. I haven't spoken with you in a while. I just wanted to find out what's going on. How was your holidays?
Oh, it was pretty good. We did get together. The kids came over, went over to my niece's, and it was quiet, but really, really nice. How about you? What did you guys do?
Well, we tried to stay put and we didn't go to, we tried to stay close to home, did a
Mhm.
little bit of FaceTime,
Mhm.
and with some of our family, and otherwise, it was maybe quieter than last year, but nicer, maybe.
All right, awesome.
Yeah. Um, has your kids gone back to school?
Yep, they're both working. Everybody's doing well. My son just got a new job actually, and he's pretty excited about that. And my daughter's working down in Boston, so everything's going good. How about you guys?
Um, um, We're doing well. The kids are finally back to school, so of course our house is a bit quieter at the moment.
Awesome.
Yeah, so it's giving me a little time, maybe time to connect with people, and change it up a little bit. Now that they're back in school again, the house is quite different.
Awesome. That's cool. So what can I do for you?
I was just calling just to say hi after the holidays, just to see how your holiday was. Uh, no specific purpose, just to, I wanted to connect and see how you were doing. I haven't talked to you for a while.
All right, that's okay. All right, so what do you think, Barbara? How does that call feel to you?
Okay. If it was real life, I'd probably feel smoother on it because it's real. Uh
Right.
yeah. Um my
So
go ahead.
So let me give you some feedback. I think you were friendly. Your tone
Yeah.
was good. I didn't feel like anything. As we move forward, I think we're going to be talking some talking points.
Yeah.
One thing you didn't do, I didn't know that you were in real estate. You never said, "Hey, just want to let you know I've." Unless you
Oh.
you been in real estate for a while.
I assumed that you knew that.
Okay,
That's
so that's the thing, and we'll talk about it as people are coming back into the thing. Part of what you can do as a newer agent, that can be part of your thing. When you say how's work for you, most people will mirror back and say, pretty good, how are you? And that's when you can say, well, I'm excited, I just got my license. So we'll brainstorm on that a little bit. All right, so I guess I can X out of that. How did everybody do? I feel like everybody's back in. Hey, May, I see you're on. So how did everybody do with their scripting?
Oh, hello.
So how did everybody do? Let's hear some ahas.
At least tried.
What was that?
At least tried it. So feeling good about it.
What do you mean?
So I tried it first time. And
Yeah.
I had a great chat with Amanda. And finally I was able to book the appointment with Amanda. So that's
good. Yeah, let's hear from some different rooms. Who wants to share?
I can share.
Yeah.
I was in a room and I actually had with Roger. So I tried to follow the script as much as possible. I ad-libbed a couple of things, and I think I did all right. I've learned that I didn't know, because I've been practicing script for the past few days. I didn't quite know that you could actually take the forward and kind of cut it short if the conversation warrants it. That's a great advice, because I was very gung-ho about following the forward, but in actual fact, to your point earlier about mirroring, there was a perfect opportunity for me to segue into my new gig into real estate, but I didn't quite take that opportunity. Instead, I went back to forward. So in retrospect, I could have just done that, but it's good. No, it's there's a lot of value, and I like what Roger said. It's a recipe, right? For those of us that come from the hospitality industry, it's a recipe, and the script is really there to guide you into, and it's very useful to have it in front of you because you can refer to it as you're as you're saying those words.
Sounds good. Who did you script with, Roger?
What, Roger? Yeah.
Okay, Roger. Sounds like looks like he might be on the phone.
Oh, no, I'm here. Sorry, I was on mute.
I wanted to get your feedback as a coach. How do you think Roberto did? Remember, we're in a safe environment. We're always just want to learn.
So he did great. I even commented after he was done. I said, I can tell you've been practicing, because he was able to hit the script, the high notes. And sometimes we get hung up on the fact that if we don't say it perfectly, we won't say it perfectly. We practice it perfectly. We read through it perfectly. We go slow with it perfectly. And we might the first time through be literally reading it through, as the gentleman mentioned before. Your first time, you're just going to read the script out loud to your practice mate.
Your cat.
And then over time, over several attempts, and I think he just mentioned he's been practicing for about 30 days. Well, you could tell because he kept the conversation going. As a scripting person, I recognized everything he was doing, and I heard the scripts. And he forwarded in, and we talked a little about, you use the forward conversation in, and that's to open it. That's the icebreaker. How you doing? How's the family? How's work? Keep in mind too, you know these people you're talking to, so you have a little information. And he used the line that, hey, I haven't called, I haven't spoken to you in such a long time. And he even softened it up a little better. He says, I'm going to do a better job moving forward. And I smiled and laughed, like, that's cool. The phone works both ways. Don't worry about it.
Right. Your friends, don't make them feel bad that they didn't call you. Yeah.
Right. And then getting off the phone, he used a technique that I use too, is say, hey, listen, I know you're busy, so I'll let you get back to your day. How many times we'll be in a conversation, we'll do this, and we just don't know when to drop the call, end the call.
Yeah.
That's a script to get off that phone. Hey, listen, I know you're busy. I'll let you get back to your day. Thanks so much for taking the time and chatting. I loved catching up with you. And then they go, oh, okay. And then just say, all right, goodbye. Bing, hang the phone up. You're moving to the next call, or you're writing your call notes, making your little notes, and then move to the next call. They don't show that in the scripts. How do I get off the phone sometimes? Well, have that script and practice that one. I know you're busy. I'll let you go. Or, and sometimes in the beginning, if you feel that little resistance hey, did I catch you at a bad time in the beginning? You got a minute to chat? I just wanted to call and catch up. Boom. That script's not in the new agent script, but you kind of have to use your own intuitive sense there as well. And that just, gets comfort over the phone. But having the script and getting through that script, he did great. He really did.
Right.
Yep.
If you've got, that's a good point, Roger. If you've got to call everybody in the A and W, you
5-minute call is a long call.
Yeah, because otherwise you're going to hear all about their life and the thing, and it's going to be 45 minutes and you're never going to get, so you always want to say, hey, do you have time for a quick business call? There's another thing about calling tips. Some people, they say my generation only text messages, and then all that whole story. Some people do it the following way. They text somebody and they say, hey, do you have a minute for a business call? And 99 out of 100 times it goes, sure, give me a call.
Yeah.
So don't do that whole, I can't call you because only my people text.
Yeah.
People just, in that way, you can say, that's into that one. Hey, I know you're busy. I just real quick, just want to check in how you're doing. Right.
And if they respond, oh no, can't talk now. All right, when's a good time I can get touch with you? How about later on today?
Exactly.
And
now
guess
you
what
sort
you've
of
just
have
done there,
permission.
right? Through texting, you've actually had a conversation because they're responding back to you. You're having that conversation. It's just starting there.
Correct.
Right. And at the end of the day, as somebody just put in the chat, you want to try to get yourself an appointment with these folks, because how many appointments do we really need every week? Just really only 2 or 3 can get you some business. And an appointment, by the way, is coffee, is, doesn't mean you have to have contracts and you're sitting with someone. Appointment is a 2-way conversation about real estate.
Yep.
So let's make sure. Yes. So back to the script book. Does everybody actually have their script book with them right now? Yes, Roberto does. Good. It's hard to do scripts and script practice if you don't have your script book. And
I have included the link to the script book within the group chat, so no one can say they don't have it.
Right. And, people, I wish they would change the word script book. I think it's really, you're nurturing. And why do we want to have scripts? What is the real reason we want to learn a script? What is really the core reason? Who's got the answer?
So you can internalize it and make it yourself, make it your own.
So you can make it your own.
So that you can internalize, to make it so that you can make it your own and sound more natural.
Okay, so we've got internalize it to make it your own. And we have for consistency. What else? I'm going to keep asking until I hear what I
to help with the to help with objections.
Yeah, help understanding what you might have for objections and how to handle them. What else?
To hit your key points, what you want to get across, the message you're trying to get.
Yep,
Well-
your key points. We know the script we hear every morning. Welcome to Dunkin' Donuts. What can I get for you? That's script to move that line forward, right? Most important. What else?
Another one on the chat from, so at the end of the call, the target is to get appointment or doesn't need to be that way?
Well,
Right.
you do always want to try to get an appointment, but we'll talk about that because that's ultimately what we want to be doing. We want to get appointments. You can call people all day long, all night long, all, but if you never have a meeting with them about real estate, you're just going to be making phone calls. That is the target, yes. Does it have to be that particular call? No. Can it be the next one? You certainly want it at some point. What else is the reason why we're in real estate? What else? Why else do we need to know scripts and know them in our head? What's the word I'm looking for? Somebody's raised their hand.
It was actually me that raised the hand. But you can continue. I accidentally hit it.
Okay.
Sorry.
One more thought. Why do we want confidence? I love it. Absolutely. That's really the top one, but it's not the top one. To give us the language of real estate. Catherine, thank you.
Professionalism.
Professionalism, absolutely. These are absolutely all exactly right. The main reason, what else? Anybody else?
I have one, and that's to
Oh, your business.
practice before you go to the field. So like football players, baseball players, they don't show up to their major league game and practice on the other team. They practice before talking with, or they practice before the event. We're
Right.
real estate agents. So for us, we do script practice to practice before the game. And the game is when you're talking with clients.
That's our game. You're absolutely right. I love a sports analogy. And the reason that's exactly right. Practice, practice, practice. And the reason you want your scripts down really well is so that you can listen at a high level. It's about so that you can listen and not have to sit around and try to figure out what you're going to say. You know, it builds confidence in yourself. It'll project confidence because you will, in fact, feel better about making a phone call because you know what to say. And when you know what to say, you're not thinking about what I have to say next. You listen at a higher level. And ultimately, our job is to listen to people and find out what they want and move them into that direction. Whether it's now, next month, 5 years from now, when the kids all graduate from high school. That's the value that you provide. And by really knowing your scripts, I think that's the turning point that makes you just a regular player to a major league player when you really get it down. You know, and these guys and girls, they certainly practice all their skill sets every day. And that's what we want you guys to do. All right, so cool. All right, so let's move along a little bit. And I think, why don't we take a break? Everybody cool with taking a 10-minute break?
Yep.
All right, so let's come back right around 10:30 and we'll continue on with the program. It's really a lot more of phone calls and database and going forward on it. I mean, we all get the point. Let's get our stuff in. When we get back, let's review again on command. Let's simply add a contact and do some tags and just kind of do that. And we can talk a little bit about it. And then we're going to go into some more calls. I want you guys to know how to make a phone call. So let's do that. All right,
So
see you at 10:30.
Then when we
Sounds good.
come back, you're gonna go through the contacts, which you've already hit, show us a
Yeah.
quick tagging, just how to take one tag, and then go right in and just show them how to, get them to smart plans. So they just have an understanding of where to go, not
Perfect.
too
And
in-depth.
I'm going to try to do it with the least amount of talking possible, so you'll only see my clicks.
All right, and Mark, Mark in the chat just said, what about text? I don't know anyone that likes phone calls. Everybody talks on the phone to their mother or their father or their grandmother. So people do talk on the phone. You text them first, Mark, and say, hey, do you have 5 minutes for a phone call, business call, real quick? And they'll text you back, sure, give me a call. Or they'll say, no, I'm at the gym, call me later. So don't do that. My people only text. You can call them and text them first. So let's go on break, and I'll see you a little bit after 10:30.
Hi, everyone.
Hi.
And we're back.
I have to unmute myself. All right, I'm going to share my screen and then walk through how to do it.
Okay. So everybody back? Is everybody in? I see a lot of not faces. So we'll do a basic, go to command. Hey, Sam, how are you? Hi, Amanda. I was realizing I was talking about script books and I didn't have my own script book in front of me. All right, let's go. Let's see how to just simply add and go from there.
Log in.
And if you guys have a question, interrupt. We want to make sure everybody really gets this one little piece here. All right, so start from the beginning, yeah.
So you log into command,
Yeah.
then you hit the red KW, top left corner. Come down to contacts. Then you come up to this blue button on the top right-hand corner. It says add contact. Click add contact and you're entering the person's name. Then what you're doing is you're putting in the primary email address. If you have one.
Yeah.
And then you're entering in a phone number. And then you can come down here and select a lead source. So this is where the lead came from. So, okay, did it come from a referral? Is this a referral? Is it from an agent? Did I get it through some type of marketing? Is it from my relationships? Is it a call-in? So you can select the lead source and then you hit create. You can add more information if you would like, but I'll just go through it like this for now. Hit create.
Why don't you put one tag in for this person?
Perfect, I will. So I just created that person. So now I'm going to reload my page and then look up that contact. So I saved it under.
Right.
Benjamin Miles, perfect. And then what I'm doing is I'm coming to
Edit.
edit. And you can come to tags and you can click on it and then scroll down right here to see all of these different tags. The grayed out ones are the ones that KW has put in. They have also put in a few that is this color code.
Right.
So agent, allied resource, buyer, bot. So I'm clicking on one in order to add that tag.
Do you want to add his DTD2 letter or no?
You can.
So I just want to show that you can create how to create a tag.
Oh, perfect. So if I'm typing in anything, let's say DT.
No, I want you to tag the letters A and W or M. What is it on? M?
So if I wanted to create the tag as, so I can start typing something. So let's say A and W.
Yeah.
I can hit create custom tag.
Right.
And now it's going to have me select the color. Let's say I select purple and then I hit add. That's going to add it right here. Make sure you still hit save.
Right. So the point is, he wouldn't, of course, put A and W because the guy's last name is Miles. So it's whatever the M, the two letters that M is on. So that way you can sort it later and make those phone calls.
Exactly. I'm not sure what the combination would be.
I know.
Yeah. So then
Okay.
you add the tag. And then I just wanted to show quickly, if I jump down to smart plans. if you don't have any smart plans. If you don't have any smart plans yet, you'll have to jump over to library. If you scroll down here, you'll see Keller Williams, and you can click on Keller Williams. And these are the ones that have been created by Keller Williams. So we have biweekly neighborhood nurture, etc. I'm going to jump to the quarterly call plan to follow the suit. If you just added the DTD2 and you're trying that.
Letter. Yeah.
So if you're using the quarterly call plan, I'm hitting add smart plan. And then I click. So if I change the name.
Yeah.
Then I can hit download and download it into my smart plan section. I'm clicking back to my smart plans. Then I'm scrolling down to the quarterly call plan.
There's no way to search it, right? You have to scroll.
You can
There
search.
it is, Bonnie.
Yeah. Up top here, you can search right here for your smart plans.
Right,
So
there's
if I'm
Bonnie's.
clicking on this and I
Yeah.
click, oh, sorry.
No, I'm listening.
Oh, awesome. So if you click the edit button on this right-hand side here next to that smart plan, we're going to be able to either edit the smart plan, the different steps within it, or we can add a trigger event. So if I click add a trigger event, and it's in contacts, and the trigger event is a contact tag, I can add a tag. So let's say this is, just because this is the tag I added, let's say I wanted it to be AW, and then choose trigger. And then what will happen is this will start your smart plan when a tag is added to a contact. No, any contacts that already have this tag will not be added to the smart plan. If you would like to add them, use the add to smart plan feature in contacts or smart plans. So I will show you that as well. And that is, if you are up under contacts, we can actually add tags to multiple contacts at one time. So for example, on this left-hand side here, I see these check boxes. If I'm checking off the different people I want to add a tag to, I can simply select bulk action, click on select bulk action, and I scroll down to add to smart plan. And you can add people to smart plans in bulk this way. You can also add tags. So if I'm adding a tag to all of these people, and now I'm selecting the tag, let's say if it's AW, you can do it that way.
Can you show how to sort your people so you only get the people, only get the A's? Can you show how to sort that?
Filter.
Yeah. So
Real quick, and then we'll move on to our scripts. Yep.
So under filters here, we can click on filters and we can filter by tags. We can filter by a variety of different criteria. So if you have your database tagged, if you're sorting, you can sort this way. Right here, there's a little sort by button. And you can select first name A through Z, last name A through Z, however you're doing it. And you can scroll down to that place, or you can utilize the filter feature right here. And you have all different filters. If I search AW, click on that, I hit apply, any tag with it, that tag pops up.
Right. So the point is, get your people in there, sort them by their last name, bulk tag them according to the D2,
DTD.
what do you call it, profile. And that way, whatever week it is, and this week happens to be A and W, you can just do your filter and call. So thank you. Any questions on that?
Yeah, when you bulk tag, I think you can only bulk tag that one page of contacts. So let's say you had 100 contacts, there's only 10 per page.
I know you can change your
So-
view to 100. Show them how to do that, Ben.
So if you can still hear me right now, you come up to Could you just repeat that really quick?
So
Sorry.
can you go back to your contact main page? He's only seeing 10. I want you to show
Oh,
everybody
yeah.
how to change it to 100.
So if you are only seeing 10, so if I've turned this
You gotta
from
go
off,
back to your, yeah.
clear all, apply. If I take all of that off, up here in the top right-hand corner, it says show 1 of 500 for me. But you can click this and you can switch it from showing 1 out of 10, 1 out of 25.
Do you
1
see
out of
that, Willard?
Yeah, that's very helpful. Thank
Yeah.
you.
So the 1 out of 500 is the maximum right now, but if you have, let's say, 50 people in your database with the letter A as the start of the first name, it sometimes is easier if you're trying to bulk tag to have the showing a lower amount of contacts.
Yeah, then you don't have to populate the whole thing.
And that way you can utilize the select all button as well.
All
So
right,
if we wanted to pick all A's, last name A,
last
we
name
get
8.
500. Okay, okay.
So I come up here, I can go sort by first name or sort by last name,
Last name.
sort by last name, A through Z.
Uh-huh.
Then because it's set at 50 now, right, the first 50 of my page is right here. So maybe if I switch this to 25 contacts, just to show you my example, if I'm trying to, let's say, do,
I think it works better when you do Z to A, just for kicks. Right, so just say you want to do Q and Z, whatever it is.
yep, Z, let's say it's Z, then
You
you're
just want to
selecting,
tag your Z people.
and then I'm going to select bulk action, add tags.
And then you might have to create one that says Z, but in the schedule, there's already letters made up, so.
So if you reference that YouTube video that I shared via the chat earlier, I will resend it in the chat, but it will show you how to correctly do the tags.
Okay.
Right. If somebody has the DT, the letter thing, maybe we can plop that in there too. Do you have that schedule? What do you call it? Schedule?
Schedule or a table.
It's a table, right, Roger? Does that make sense? Do we have any other questions on that? I mean, we could go on for a long time regarding getting your data, but but let's get some basic stuff in there. Get your contacts in, tag them.
Can I say
Yes.
one more thing? I think
Oh,
it's really important. You can customize the columns. I know
Yeah.
the default
Your
view
columns
does
are-
not look this good. So if you hit customize columns here, on this left-hand side, we can select what we see. And this order on this right side here is the order from left to right. The different things you see with the name always in the first column on this left-hand side here, going across. So
You
I
can
can
move them.
arrange this. So I'm going, okay, I'm working on a project to find everyone's email. So I'm going to move that down so that email's up top, hit apply. Then I can come to this email section and just, so you can sort by the email, primary phone, etc., date of birth. So you can sort by any of these. And then something that might not be visually appear is each of these columns, just like in Excel, can be both increased and decreased in size by dragging and dropping up at the top. So you can really customize this to fit a view that you find beneficial.
All right, thank you. That's good. So again, connect with your Market Center tech person. Have a little sit down, or I'm sure there's a class. Make sure you're having your database set up, like for Willard, he didn't know that he's only looking at 10. Now he knows he can look at 100. There's a whole bunch of other little tips in there, custom views and all kinds of different things. So make sure you set yourself up in the beginning to make your job as easy as it can. And when you're making your phone calls and doing all of your things, it's going to make sense to you. This is what we're talking about in the beginning here, even though it's kind of tedious and we feel like we're repeating ourselves. We just want to make sure that we're getting you set up nice and clean, because if you're not nice and clean now, you're gonna be a hot mess later when you have 20 deals going and 2,000 contacts in your database. So let's make sure we take that little 20 minutes to sit with somebody and kind of clean it up. You know, there's usually somebody in the office that kind of has theirs looking really good. And, you know, you always, usually you want the name, email, phone number, tag, you know, and that's your view always. So anyway, until you want to change it for something else. Any questions on that? And then we're going to move forward and going more into scripts and more into some practice, and we're going to put you on making phone calls, and we're going to keep our screen open. We're going to mute, and we're going to call people. So any questions?
I had a quick question, and maybe this is too granular, but for Ben, when you have 1,500 or almost 1,500 contacts, when you obviously have a lot of tags. Are there any tricks to keep your tags organized? Like I find that there is, okay.
There is, and one of my favorite things is to utilize the create smart views. So you can create a smart view for each of your tags. So if you're doing A and W or whatever the D2,
Yeah, I'm going to find that thing right now.
if you're doing that, you can simply just go, okay, look at the smart view. I need to do, let's say you preset that you want to do on Wednesdays, and you set the smart view up with the name of open on Wednesday. Then what you do is you hit, oh, okay, smart views. Oh, I see the open on Wednesday one. You click that. That's everyone you're calling. It took you less than 2 seconds when you opened up your command system to now have that list in front of you.
Okay. And when you're creating tags, I guess I don't know if anyone can answer this question, but I find like I go, oh, that's a friend. Well, that's somebody I don't know, who likes bunny rabbits, and then I find that I'm losing track and I go, oh, that person, they also like bunny rabbits and they're a friend. So I feel like if I'm trying to start out right and keep my tags sort of clean, but I don't know.
So one piece of advice I would give you specifically is if you're looking through your 1,500 database, because we can add tags to multiple people at once, think to yourself, okay, who is it? I'm going to just add the friend tag right now. And then you just go through your list and you go, okay, all these people, I'm going to click the box on the left side. All these people are my friends. Now you just did the strategy once for your entire database. Now you don't have to go back to think, did I tag them with the friend tag? Did I tag them with that bunny rabbit tag, etc.?
Thank you very much. Appreciate it.
Yeah, and yes, I think that's good advice, Shad. The more organized, and let me just do a quick screen share and we can make sure. So I don't know. This is the DTD2 thing that we keep talking about, which maybe, so basically it's, if you look at the screen, it's right in the middle. It says Q1, Q2, Q3, and Q4. Right now, we know we're in Q1 in January, week 1, 2, 3, 4. So in January, first week, you're going to call everybody with the last name A and W. So you make a tag that's called A and W, and then you do that sort, last name, and then you click all the A's and, all the A people. And then you tag them, bulk tag with the A and W. And then you go down and you find your W people, click, add them to that same all at once. Okay, now you got those. And as you move forward, when you add anybody new, you're just going to plop in the tag. So this week you call everybody with the A and W. Next week you call the bacon and eggs, the B and E's. The following week, D and O. And the following week, H and V. And you've got everybody tagged, so that's your calendar every day. You just go, who am I calling today? Boink, what's the DT thing? Oh, and then February, you go through all those people. March, you go through those people. And and it's the same thing every year. So And then you put them on the smart plan that follows up with a couple of hits. And if you do nothing else, you will get business. If you call your people every quarter, you will get business. So I just want to make sure this thing is all over the place. So find this schedule, stick it up on your fridge, put it on your drive and keep it so that when you're calling people, and like Roger said in the beginning, command is up, you're writing notes. Any questions on that or thoughts?
Is there a smart plan for this?
There is.
Okay.
And yes, it's in the smart plan. What do you call it? Ben, can you tell him where to find that?
Could you just repeat that one thing? Could you repeat
Where
that?
do you find
Plan? Yeah.
the smart plan? Go ahead.
Oh, yes, I already shared it with the chat. Within the chat, I'll repost it to the chat right now.
Hello, this is Debbie. Hi. Good, good.
So I just shared that to the chat. Did you see it? I don't know who asked the question. Deb, you're muted. Sorry, I muted you when you were on the phone call.
Thank you for muting me. That's Home Depot delivering appliances. I had to take the call. These things don't happen every day. So excuse me for doing that. Did you show them where to find the how-to video? Dynamite.
It's in the group chat. It's in the
Okay,
chat.
perfect. I'm telling you guys, you're gonna love it. Just get this thing in, and then every new person you meet, every cookout you go to, you get them right in there and put them on that, and you'll really be, it'll take a lot of load off you. You do have to make those calls. You just do it every day. Once you do it, you're just gonna be so used to it, you're gonna love it. All right, so let's move on to that. Let's move on to making some more calls. This is about getting into your database and building your business, right? So I'm going to go back to screen share. So really what we want to do, I think we want to go back into, now that we know what we're doing and who we're going to call, we're going to do some manual searching of our own, and then we're going to go back on and get to our script book. Do we want to do the one that's on page 5, new to real estate? Okay.
Yep. Stay with
Let's
that.
go
Keep
into
tracking.
what we're going to do. We're going to go back into your breakout rooms, and we're going to do some more scripting, and we're going to do page 5 that says, hi, this is Deb. How have you been? You know, and then you go into saying, hey, I just want to share the news that I've just signed up with Keller Williams, and so on and so forth. Let's go back into breakout rooms, do that script. And then after, we're going to do the actual calls and call people. We're going to stay on screen. We're going to mute, and we're going to go from there. So let me put you guys into breakout rooms. You should be in the same rooms, I believe. Any questions?
Nope.
Awesome. Open rooms. Hopefully it worked.
Are we still in the same room?
That was awesome. My room was awesome. How did everyone do? Let's come off mute. I want to hear some
Great.
feedback.
Got some thumbs up.
Doing great.
Good, good.
Yeah, Daimei was great. She stepped right up. She did the
Nice.
script,
We loved
and
it,
it worked. And there was I didn't feel like it was, at all reading off a script. She kept it flowing. And it was really good to hear her do it.
So
Yeah,
good. The
when it-
Amazing My Market Center. Love it. So let's hear from another room. Who is in the next room? Let's have some good constructive
I will,
feedback.
sorry. I will say, so I was the one making the call, and I don't know why, but in the, opening like seconds, I mentioned I was a real estate agent and hated that I did that. So I will say the breakout rooms are definitely, definitely nice. Yeah, exactly. But I like to say, kind of ask them questions like, how are you doing? What are you up to? Where you living? If I know what their occupation is, obviously asking them like, oh, if they're construction, like how's, construction going with, the crazy times and all that, whatever. And
Yeah.
then I like to have them ask me, if they know I'm in real estate, how it's going, or, what I'm up to. And then I will, kind of not subtly, but like calmly say I'm in real estate without, shoving in their face that I'm like looking for them to either give me someone or themselves or something like that.
Right.
So I know in my group, they were like, yeah, don't, not don't, but they were like, how soon should we say we're in real estate? So it was
Right.
definitely helpful for them to kind of bring it to my attention that I did do that. So very helpful.
That's good. I mean, that's what we're doing this for. It's a safe environment.
Mhm.
It's not, nobody's got $1 million house that they're going to sell, and it's not real, but I think, it's great when somebody gives you that opening, and people do, that's why people mirror back. That in a natural conversation, people mirror back. So if in the point of this script is to move it forward. So you don't start off with, hey, I'm in real estate, what's going
Right.
on? You're kind of, hey, how's the family? How's your friends? How are things going? And they always go pretty good. How about you? I mean, remember, we know these people.
Mhm.
They hopefully like us, and
They
then
do
how-
like us. They do
they
like
do
us.
like us, and how, right, they love us, and how is work? It's a very net. The girl in my group said, it was Annette. She said, hey, I'm just calling all my friends and wishing everyone a happy holiday. And that's what she did, checking in on everybody. And I thought that was beautiful. And Praveen really thought, oh, thanks, So you've got a week or two to still ride that holiday call.
Right.
And then you've got 2 more weeks to do the Happy New Year, looking forward to 2022. And then you start talking about where are they going for vacation after the kids get out of school. So, let me hear back. Let's hear another feedback from another room. As we're watching Catherine's little girl scripting with us. So go on. Who wants to, give me some feedback from another room?
I worked with Amy, who did her very first call today, her practice. And it's interesting because she did really great. She did a lot of the Ford stuff. We were engaged in that in the beginning, and then we moved into real estate. But how she did it was she offered to help me. I said, oh, I might buy or sell in 2 years. And I was thinking, if I were saying that, I would feel really like, oh my God, I'm really being pushy. But to be on the opposite side, when she said, would you like to sit down and talk about your plan for the next 2 years? Really, I paid attention to my emotions. I was like, yes, great. How nice. It was really interesting.
Wonderful. That's good feedback. And that's really good feedback, because she is coming from contribution, that she's just offering to help. Like I said, you cannot sell anybody a house. It's their time if they want to buy or sell, and your job is to help them get there. And your real job is to stay in touch with them and make sure they know under no circumstances that you're the agent for them. So good job there. Who are you with?
Amy.
Amy, good job, Amy, out there.
Yeah, it was super helpful, because I feel like with this kind of thing, you don't do it because you think you're not going to be good at it. But this was, like she said, it was my first time practicing as a caller. And she said, she gave me some great feedback. She said I did really good, and
Right.
I didn't expect that. So it was really helpful and I appreciate it.
Right, and we like good feedback and we like honest feedback, and Ryan appreciated, kind of his, we're all here to help each other, that you're gonna be in this group now for a bunch of more days, and we want somebody to say, I called somebody and I have an appointment that maybe these people are gonna maybe buy something or sell something, and that's what we're all about here. One more thing, and then I want to move on to the next piece, which is, go ahead.
So Deb, I wanted to bring up a point too. In the chat, if you guys want, and what you should be doing is go into the chat and put your name and phone number in the chat and ask for a script partner, and start teaming up with each other.
Every day.
It's very simple, about 10 or 15 minutes. It's I'm going to call you at 9, go right into the script and practice on each other over the phone. And remember, we're doing these things over the phone.
Yeah.
You got your script before
Drive
you
it.
make your call, run through the script, read it through, and then pick up the phone. And for example, if you're calling, Ryan, and Ryan says, hello, he knows it's coming, right?
Yeah.
You just go, if you dial the phone, go
What
right
you
into the
can
script.
do-
Hey, Ryan, how's it going? What's going on? Ryan's going to play along, right?
Right.
And you hit the script, boom, you're done. And then the next time, then now Ryan
Ryan
goes and does his call, and then both give feedback at the end, and you're done in 15 minutes. And they say, hey, dude, thanks. Appreciate it. All right, we'll talk to you tomorrow. And then maybe Ryan calls first tomorrow at 9 o'clock. And
Yeah,
I pick
take
up the phone,
turns.
or 3
And-
past or 5 of. Mix it up a little bit, but around 9 o'clock, I'm going to get a call from Ryan tomorrow morning. Roger, how's it going? Good. What's up? Boom. And he's going to hit the script. That's the best practice. And then hang the phone up and talk to you later.
Yeah, so Sam has a question, but I just want to give one tip with Roger's advice. Before the call, text, say, hey, Ryan, I want you to be a guy I used to work with. Or, hey, Ryan, you're a buyer that I met the other day. Or, hey, Ryan, and then Ryan tomorrow goes, hey, Roger, you're my friend's grandmother. You know what I mean? Let's just, so that you have some
Put each
direction,
other
so
into
you don't have
character.
to go, how's it going? How's the weather? Oh my God, it's snowing. You're gonna waste 10 minutes to get right into, so give each other your instructions of who you are. All right, so Sam, you had a question.
Actually, it follows right into what you were just saying. As you get better and better with your script partner, and you do these different scenarios, at some point, have them throw you back a non-receptive.
Yeah, don't be nice
person.
always.
Have them give you the, hey man, I'm really busy, or hey, I can't talk to you right now, or I've got something going on, and see if you can't get past it. I know if we go deep enough into I know there are scripts in KW that have these scenarios, but it wouldn't be bad. And this is after you've had a few good calls with them that are, that you're both doing well. Have them throw you a couple that are like, yeah, I can't talk. And see if you can't, I don't know, set a later appointment or work something out that you're going to be able to talk to them. Hey man, no problem. I'd love to talk to you later. Is there any chance I could call you this evening? And 9 times out of 10, you're well, maybe not that well, but maybe 7 times out of 10, you're going to get some sort of a, yeah, actually, why don't you call me at such and such? All right, cool. So yeah.
And remember, don't have them call you back. It's not their job. You call them. You have to call them back. Don't leave voicemails and say, give me a call when you have a minute. Leave a voicemail that says, I'll call you later today or tomorrow morning, right? So that's excellent advice, Sam, because yes, we're calling people that in our database right now that we know, and they may be busy. Later, we're going to even do more scripting as you get through Ignite of people that aren't nice. And that's really good practice as well. Why are you calling me? And, but that's later. Now we're talking to people that we know in our database, that we're building our database, and we're entering them in the system, and we're going to write notes as we're talking. And I don't know who it was. Somebody was saying they were going to Aruba or whatever it was. Make a note on their thing up in the notes section on their contact card is what I call it. I don't know if that's accurate, Ben, but just write a little note. Hey, they're going to Aruba. So when you're on the DT, when you're calling them in that next quarter or 2 quarters later, you can go, how was Aruba? Did you guys end up going? Do you see where it all goes, guys? How it all connects? All right, I don't want anybody to say, I don't call anybody. You have to call. You've got a schedule, you've got a system, you do it for two. You may only have 3 people with the last name W. My maiden name is Williams, so I have a lot of W's to call. But, you know, as long as you start on Monday and you're done, you may even be done by Tuesday or Wednesday. You know, and if you can't reach people, shoot them a text, you know, so just make sure you're engaged and you're purposeful. It's called, what's it called? E to P, entrepreneurial to purposeful. Everybody wants to start a lemonade stand. We're going to start a lemonade stand. That's cool. We all have an entrepreneurial spirit, but until you get a table, a couple of chairs, a buddy, a sign, your mother and father or somebody to give you some money so you can, you know, that's being purposeful, you know. So that's just, you know, the things that we want to do here is be as purposeful as possible. So what this program says now, we want to go into some actually lead generating and actually calling people. Do we want to do one more group? Everybody can watch somebody's script. Who wants to call each other, somebody? Let's do it one more so we can all watch, and then we'll do a little critiquing, you know, and you're going to we'll put a timer on. It's like a 3-minute thing. I'm even get my timer going. Who wants to volunteer? Somebody is going to be the new agent at Keller Williams, and the other person is somebody that they worked with at, you know, the insurance company 5 years ago or 2 years ago. Who wants to do that? Who's going to volunteer? Let's see some hands.
I'll volunteer.
Good, Liz. Lisa, that's the coaching trick. Don't make, you know, wait till somebody cracks. So Lisa, what do you want to be? You
Well,
want to be the agent? Let's you be the agent, or you want to be the person? And who's going to do a call with her?
come on, Amy.
All right, Amanda. All right, let's work both of you. So we're gonna have 3 minutes, okay? And you're a new agent, and you're gonna call Amanda, and she works, you know, used to work together, and you're gonna use your Ford script, and we're gonna go forward, and I'm gonna set the timer. And ultimately, remember, we do maybe want to try to get an appointment for coffee or whatever. So I'm gonna start, and you guys go with the ring ring.
Ring, ring.
Hello.
Hi, Amanda. How you doing? This is Liza Smith from Keller Williams. No.
No, keep going, keep going.
This is Liza. This is Liza. How are you?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm good. Good. How's the kids?
Oh, they're pretty good. You know, I'm trying to stay healthy.
Yeah, I know. Aren't we all? Aren't we all? How's your job going?
Pretty
I
good.
just-
I'm still at the insurance agency.
Oh, you are. Good
Yeah.
for you. How many years has that been now?
9.
Oh, wow. Wow. I
I'm
was
set
at
in my ways.
What's that?
I'm set in my ways. I don't want to change jobs.
Yeah. Well, it must be good if you've been there for that long. I wanted to let you know that I left blah blah company and I started to go work for Keller Williams as a real estate agent.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's going pretty well. It's going pretty well. And I was, so as you know me, I'm always looking to help people out. So I wanted to just check in, see what your situation was and see if there's a way that I can help you in my new job.
Oh, what kind of help could you provide?
Well, I can give you information about your neighborhood so you could see what houses are selling for in your neighborhood.
You can tell me what the guy sold his house down the street for, how much?
Yeah, that's right, lady. I could do that for you. It just gives you an idea of what your house, what the value of your home is and what type of neighborhood you're in. And is that something that you would be thinking of doing is buying or selling real estate in the next?
I would love to know what's going on in my neighborhood.
Would you like to know just because you're nosy neighbor, or are you guys interested in, are you thinking about moving soon?
It depends on the values, like depending if like I make enough money off my house, I could be interested in selling it.
Oh, well, would you like me to send you the app so you can be set up, and if you have any questions, you can ask me about that?
Sure.
Okay. What's your email address? I'll send it out to you.
All right, Amanda Booth at kellerwilliams.com, well, kw.com.
Great. And I'd love to get together and grab a coffee or go for a walk sometime in the next couple of weeks. It's been so long since we've chatted. Would you be up for that?
Yeah, sure. I'd love to go for a stroll.
Okay. Do you have a dog? I'm going to bring my dog.
Yeah, let's take our dogs for a walk.
Awesome. Okay.
Timer, ding, 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 ding. How did that go? Well, so did that seem like it took a year out of your life?
No.
Yes.
So I think, and Roger, we're both coaches. I think we'll give you, I thought, again, tone. We always worry about tone. I thought you seemed pleasant, Lisa. I think you had a great person to call. Amanda was super happy to hear from you. What do you think? Well, let's shoot it over to Roger. What do you think? Do you think it went well and she followed the script?
So yeah, you could hear the scripting in there, but you can certainly also hear, that struggle, that awkwardness. So it's not totally internalized at this point, which is understandable, right?
Sure.
And you can feel as you're experiencing that, feel that nervous energy coming up, and that's okay. Being nervous is part of learning, right? So it's okay to feel that way, but through the practice in doing it, especially if you're with somebody comfortable, like Amanda helped make it comfortable too. Yeah. When you hear that person struggling, when you're in script practice, help them out a little bit, make it, she broke the ice a couple of times, get a little chuckle and a laugh. Yeah. Laughter cures most problems, right?
Right.
And when you find something in common, and when somebody says to you, well, what can you do for me? What are you going to do for me? Well, geez, I don't know. What would you be curious about? Right. With respects to real estate, I'd like to just be your resource with respects to real estate. And if you ever have a question come up, call me. And if I don't know the answer, I'll find it out, because I work in an office with 200 odd agents, or whatever the case, whatever your facts are. Stay in a curious state of mind and authentic, meaning I'm just here to help. And if there's anything I can do for you, any information I can share, if you're curious about anything, I just want to be that resource. And I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay in touch better. And, but I'm interested in, what do you want to know about your neighborhood?
Yeah. Well,
pop it back to them.
The guy down the street.
Yeah. Why are you curious about that guy down the street?
This conversation is very real. People will want to know what's going on. So I think the direction of the conversation went very well. And that was 3 minutes. And you actually got you got your point across, and you even have really an appointment to go walk the dogs or go for a walk. And I thought that was really a good way to put it. Like, instead of coffee, obviously you must like to go for a walk with your dog. So, whatever it is. So I thought that went really well, guys. And I'm really proud of you for being brave and doing it in front of everybody. But the more you do it, the more real it feels, and the more you hear the cues from the person, the tone there, you're aware of that more when you have your words down. So basically we're kind of at 11:30. The point at this point right now is we're going to go off. We're going to keep our video on. We're going to put it on mute, and we're going to call people. You're going to go into your somewhere, and you're going to look up people with the last name A or W. The other reason why you want to follow that script, otherwise you're just going to end up calling your sister and your mother and your friends. You want to make sure you're calling people in your database. So I'm going to put the timer on here. We're going to do 10 minutes. We're supposed to do an hour, but we kind of ran a little bit. But I think this has been good. I think it's more important to do this than, so we're going to do 10 minutes. That was 3 minutes, that call. that she did, and she, you know, you pretty much got an appointment. So let's meet back here a little bit before 1/4 of, and I want you guys to call people, and then you're gonna report in. I want somebody to say, I got an appointment. All right, so let's go for it. I'm gonna make calls myself. So video on, make some phone calls. We ready? On your mark, get set, go.
Put your mute on.
Cool. How many people? Wow. Oh, that sounds so fun. I'm jealous.
Okay, how's everybody doing? Oh. If I can unmute everybody. Dispense.
I spent the entire 10 minutes on the phone with one person.
Oh, boy, that's okay. Well, you know, how come? Let's see, yeah.
I ended up getting too deep into the real estate stuff where they're just like, well, what have you been doing? And I'm like, oh, we did this so far. And dove in deep.
Well, you know, we're gonna keep bugging you about the scripts, of course. And you do need an exit plan because that's what happens.
Yeah, that's
Particularly,
my problem. I definitely need an exit plan.
you need to have something somewhere in your visual that says, is it time to end the call? You know, or say, hey, I know, you know, put yourself a little script up on the wall. If that's a thing that is happening with you, that you feel, or you feel you're worried that you're gonna get sucked into long phone calls. Otherwise, it'll take you 8 years to get through your A&Ws. You know, remember, you have to do this every morning. You know, I like to see people, I mean, it's Ignite, so you should really bang on right after lunch and do just, you know, get through it. And this is something, even though you're in Ignite today, you're gonna start, I want to see you guys doing this every day, every quarter. That's just what you do. And I'm telling you, that's what busy agents do.
So
Let's see,
Deb, I got a little
everybody.
script for her to help her get off the phone.
All right.
So it's as simple as this, you know, as you're transitioning through your segments, you know, your forward conversation, and then you hit that little real estate related kind of script.
Yeah.
I usually suggest transition back into a little forward conversation to kind of bring it out naturally, and then give them the old, hey, listen, but I know you're probably busy, so I'll let you get back to your day. Thanks so much for taking my call. I really appreciate the time. And, you know, and I promise to stay in touch in the future. I'll talk to you soon.
Yeah.
I know you're busy, lays it out onto them.
Yeah.
And, you know, they're doing the same thing. They're thinking, well, how do I, sometimes at some point in a conversation, you're like, all right, when do I stop? Hey, listen, I know you're busy.
Yeah.
And then say goodbye. And they'll say, okay, bye. Talk to you later. Boom.
Yeah. There's
And then
another thing. It's called your favorite radio station, WAIT, means why am I talking?
Yep.
Right? So that's another thing to write in your vision. I mean, that's how I do things. I have to have things so I can remember, because I do. We all get lost in things, and it's really a skill set. You know, your mindset is there, Amanda. It's the skill set, just working on that little bit. How's everybody doing? I was watching many, I don't know who you were talking to, but I could see people talking. And I think Lisa is still on the phone.
So I just talked to someone who I hadn't talked to in probably a year, 2 years, whatever it's been. And we're just catching up. And, you know, as we're hanging up, he was like, or about to hang up, he was like, you know, I might be reaching out to you in, you know, 3 to 6 months. You know, I'm kind of, you know, I'm starting to look. And I was like, oh, hey, hold on a second. Obviously I didn't say that, but I was like,
yeah, we don't hang up.
If I just like ask you about, you know, what you're looking for, area, like whatever, like, you mind if I send you the app, like all that kind of stuff. So it was definitely nice to have that conversation. That was pretty cool.
All right, Roger, let's coach him. I know I can
So
see
Ryan,
you.
yeah,
You're
great opportunity for a little conversation on a small conversion script. When somebody indicates they have interest in buying in 3, 6 months, or whatever the case may be, your simple conversion from that is like, oh, really cool. Tell me a little more about that. They tell you, go, hey, listen, I don't mind, and I'd love to get together. Why don't we get together next Tuesday or Thursday, and you know, we'll go over the process. And if you have any questions, you can feel free to ask me. I'll let you know how the process works, and we'll go from there. How's that sound?
Right.
You know, oh, okay. Or they might say, well, I'm not really ready right now. I go, all right, no worries. Then I'll stay in touch with you. I'll reach out in next month and see if there's a better time for you. You want to stay in control of that, so you want to leave him with the thought that you're going to call him back.
Yeah.
Right. So the way
But
The way
yeah, go ahead.
the way I kind of left it with him, I was just, he was going to his job, so I couldn't talk to him too long.
Yeah.
But it was, I was like, oh, you know what? If it's all right with you, and I'll give you a call sometime next week, and we can kind of talk about it a little more, kind of what you're looking for and all that.
Well,
Be a
buyer
little more
consult.
certain in that direction. I will give you a call next week. And then the call next week is, hey, this is Ryan, just following up, as I said I would, if, in case you get his message, and he's not, and then keep trying him. Don't let the onus go back to him that he's going to call you.
Yeah, no.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry, wait. So you said instead of saying if it's all right with you, if I give you a call next week, you just say I'll give you a call next week.
Yeah.
That's what you're going with.
Yes,
Be a little bit more
be
firm,
direct. Yep.
because you're
I'm
putting that in
control
his
now.
head.
Mhm.
Because
Okay.
now, if you say, I'm gonna call you next week, I'll call you early next week, in his mind, because you're telling him you're gonna do, he might be thinking, oh, I gotta think, what do I, be prepared for that call. If you just say, hey, and I'll call you when, or something, he won't be starting to think he needs to get being prepared. So awesome,
So I also have
perfect.
one more question if
Yeah.
I have the
Yeah,
time.
sure. We go.
So I was asking him, are you looking for a house, looking for a rental, he was looking for something. He didn't really say what it was. And he was saying that he wanted a house, but only if you could find, the right roommates. Do you have any suggestions on what to say to that?
Tell me more about that. What do you mean?
Okay. So just kind of open it up and see what he's
Yeah.
looking for.
Right.
Yeah,
What
tell-
do you mean roommates? What's that?
what do you mean?
I'm curious. What's going on there?
So I did ask him, I was like, oh, so say you had a 3-bedroom, you're trying to rent out the other 2, like ideally. And he said, yeah, if I find like the right roommates and the right circumstances and everything.
Oh, so tell me a little more about that, because
Yeah.
you need roommates lined up before you bought a house.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Maybe.
If you
Well,
can see my demeanor, I'm confused by his thought process. And what we're doing is we're qualifying these folks for us to get that understanding. So the old tell me more about that. What do you mean by that? That's reflecting it back onto them to probe deeper. Whenever they make that statement, you want to have a follow-up question of, oh, that's cool. What is it about that I'm curious, and even if you stutter or stumble about it, I'm just, whoa, you just puzzled me now, Tell me more about that. I'm curious. What do you mean by that? That's interesting to me,
Yeah. Oh,
and
that's
then that will
interesting.
open
Yeah.
them up. So it's open-ended questions you want to always be thinking of. If you master one thing when you're talking to people, is always ask an open-ended question. Who, what, when, where, why, and how. Oh, really? How's that going to affect your life if you have
Yeah.
2 roommates? And what if you lose one of them?
Yeah.
You
Does he need them to get a loan, which is going to point you in, do we need to have him connected with a good lender?
Okay.
So let me ask you a question, Ryan.
Sure.
Would you have called this guy had you not been in this class today?
He was on my list to call today. So I had it, this morning, I usually either late, either the night before or the morning, I make a list of who I want to call, just that way,
Wonderful.
just check them off and keep it going.
Good.
So
Good.
it definitely was nice to be on the call, so that way I could, pick your brains after and see, how I did and what I should be doing in the next conversation.
Right. Right. Well, you're certainly engaged, and that is, again, it's mindset, skill set, and activities. When you do all 3, that's when you're going. That's when you move forward. You can walk up the stairs or you can run up the stairs. Who else?
We have a question in the group chat.
Yeah.
People. So this person's saying that people are busy during the weekday. What is the best time to call known/unknown persons?
So the questions, they're busy during the weekday. When's the best time that we should call?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, by trial and error, find the time that makes sense to them. If you know their work schedule and they have that type of job where they can't take their call, don't be trying them during the day. Try them on the weekends or try them in the early evening. Yep. Yeah. Remember, you're not a telemarketer. You're a friend in a partner
calling
in
to
their
say
life.
hi.
Yeah.
These are now the question is of people you know or you don't know. If you know them, like Roger, your friends, you can call them. I don't know. I mean, I suppose some people have jobs where they don't pick up their phone, but I don't know many people. I guess if you're a brain surgeon, you're in surgery or whatever, you're going to know that. But they may be working just do the best you can.
Well, and
If
think of it this way too. Try them a little earlier. You know, if you know they're a 9 to 5er, what are they doing between 8 and 9? They're probably
Might
on their
be
way to
driving.
work. Catch them on the
Yeah.
phone and in the road, you know, and if you call them and it goes through, then follow that with a text. Hey, just tried to reach you as, it's about letting them know you're interested in them, in talking to them will pique their curiosity. Who cares? Well, what does Ryan want? If you call them, then send them a text, their little brain's going to go, what's up? What does Ryan want? You know, and it depends on the relationship you have. You wouldn't do that to a complete stranger per se, or to somebody you're not acquainted with as well as somebody else. Think of the relationship that you have on how you will proceed with your contact with that person. And that's part of the anatomy of a script. And when you think of the relationship, now you know how to talk to them, how to approach them. In your case, you know what time not to call them. So don't try them that time, or just send them a text. Use that. Say, hey, I wanted to give you a call. I'm going to give you a call later tonight after work. Boom. Now you're prompted and they're kind of waiting for the call. Then just try them. If they don't answer, no big deal. Move on.
Right.
And then
You've got a lot of people in your thing to call. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's the other thing is the event, the reason I'm calling. Why am I calling? I had a
What is
quick
the
question.
purpose of this call? Right. Ben, you
And
had a
then-
question or you had a comment?
Comment more than a question, and that's make sure that you're keeping these in your notes.
Right.
In
Yes.
command. So
Right up
make
there.
sure you're keeping your notes in there because you need to keep track of all of this information.
Absolutely. And that's what we're saying. When you guys might have a lot of time on your hands right now, but once you get really busy and you've got 20 deals going, you still have to make these calls.
Yep.
Never goes away. You'll be 95. And
if you've got 20 deals going, you're going to have some leverage in place. You're likely going to have an assistant working with you, handling all those minor details, because that's not your money making. You've already made that. You make your money when you lead generate. That's the secret. And then it's in the follow-up after that. And what is follow-up? People get confused. Like Ryan mentioned, that's follow-up. Now he has not a lead generation call to do. He's got a follow-up call to do next week.
And that's during a
And that
different
gets done.
time. That's a different time than your lead gen call. So who else? Let's have some more feedback. Everybody looked like they were on the phone. Let's hear something else. Amanda mentioned that she got on the phone and took the whole time with this one person. Let's talk about that.
Amanda, what did you struggle with there? What did you do? And what did you learn when you were
And you're on
in
mute.
that call?
Unmute her.
Basically that I have to have my exit plan.
Exit strategy, exit script. Yeah.
Yeah.
And if I come from a place of contribution, then I should be able to be more like direct about what I'm trying to help them with, instead of giving them a grand spiel of everything I'm doing.
Yeah, maybe you got a little too grand on it, but that's good. A good thing to learn. You know, you can.
But
now
she
know
sounded really excited, like she was, gonna get on board and start just getting some investment properties.
All right, well, now you've got your follow-up call, right?
So, right, that's the perfect Ryan script there, right? That's that conversion script. Once they've identified themselves as being interested in learning more, this lead generation call is not the time to really delve deeply into that.
Right.
That's the time. So, oh, well, that's awesome. Listen, I've got a couple of things to do this afternoon, but I do have some time on my schedule next Tuesday or Thursday. Would you like to get together? Which one works best for you?
Yeah.
That's the script. We'll transition you right. And then she goes, oh, okay. Or she goes, oh, I'm busy. I can't do it then. Oh, all right. What about Wednesday or Friday?
Yeah.
All right. What makes
I can move
best sense to
something
you?
around, maybe.
When would you like? And then you can go back and say, what about this afternoon? If you have time this afternoon, or do you have time in 2 hours? Right? Problem solve that and say, and then get together. And that, what are you doing there? You're setting the appointment for the buyer's consultation. And that's all it is.
Little strategy session.
Yep. And we're just going to get together and go over the process. I'm going to tell you how I work, and we'll go from there. Sound
All right,
good?
well-
Great. See you tonight at 5.
All right, anybody have one more? And then I want to hear some other stuff. So.
Can I just ask a quick question?
Yep.
So what do you guys recommend for, say you want to get like coffee with someone just to kind of go over, but a lot of coffee shops, obviously with the COVID outbreaks and everything, are not allowing you to sit in their store. And obviously it's cold out, so you're not gonna want to sit outside. Like, what do you guys recommend for that?
Well, you can use Zoom, or you can do it over the phone if you had to. You send them the information, So they have it in front of them and get them on the phone, and then they can be flipped through the pages or what have the case.
Yeah, I
And
just
you
know a lot
be
of people
following the
like,
script over the phone.
right. So I know a lot of people like the face-to-face interaction. That's why I've been trying to, like, just do coffee and something that's,
Right.
not an all day thing, but it's,
Meet them at their house, meet
Okay.
them where they are,
Yeah.
Okay.
call
Yeah.
them into the office and just practice protocols,
Just
like our
simple,
office, for
you know.
example, just shut down for a few days because we had a
Yeah.
couple of COVID people, and they clean the office up. But people are still meeting face to face. It's whether or not, and be sensitive to them. I go, if they're nervous about it, want me to wear my mask on or off? I'll ask people. Yeah, you're fine. Don't worry about it. But go by their sensitivity, not our sensitivity.
Right.
Right.
And
Okay.
also, everyone should have a Zoom account
Yep.
of their own.
They're
So that
free, right?
They're free.
Yep.
You don't need 900 people on it. It's you and a little couple or somebody, your friend or whatever. It's very, very effective. And guess what? Saves you a lot of driving around, a lot of time.
Yep.
Since that's one good thing from COVID, figuring out how to do really good strategy sessions with clients over Zoom. And it's not as good, of course, as in person, but it's extremely effective. A lot of the agents now, a lot of the buyer agents in my office are doing Zoom before they even meet the people at the house. So that's good. So let's hear some ahas about database. Do we brainwash you? Do you get it? You're going to put your, so tell me some ahas, what you're going to do in practice as you move forward. Who's got some comments? Let's shoot it out there and we'll let you guys go. Ahas from today: database, scripting, calling.
What are you struggling with?
I think the most important thing is to really get a buddy to practice this stuff, because it's so awkward when you're trying to go off a script. And if you practice it with people, it becomes your own words and it's no longer a script. So
that's right.
Have a buddy and make those a day for a week, 10 days, and see if you feel like you're getting better.
Yeah.
I guarantee you will be.
So if
Okay.
you guys get together and script practice, get your own Zoom account, right? Put it on Zoom, you have the picture there, and then what you do is you practice it, right? Record it, and then do a playback for yourself. And you'll learn so much. I mean, I do that when I do my coaching calls on Zoom. I'll go watch a session. And who am I watching? I'm not watching you guys. I'm watching me to try to hone in on what I'm doing right, wrong, or indifferent,
Right.
And listening to how I'm speaking, how I'm coming across, and am I enunciating my words?
Right.
Am I going too fast, too slow?
And I think we also tend to focus so much on the script that we forget what we're trying to get out of that call. What are the questions? And write that down in the bottom of the script. Like, what are the 3 things you want to get out of this call?
What's the purpose?
Yeah, what's the purpose?
And what are the 3 things you want to get out of a call?
An appointment.
Appointment.
And an appointment.
appointment, and an appointment, and further information. Make sure you have, some data cleanup, management, admin work. Make sure you have maybe they're not using AOL anymore. Maybe they've got that. Making the appointment, getting the appointment. In the chat, Roberto wrote that he liked that you can group tag your contacts. So that was an aha for him. And then Pegja, I don't know if I'm saying that, KW command tool is a great way to nurture leads. We'll use it effectively. So I know command is kind of a beast, but learn a few of these tips and get yourself set up really well. I have a question to the group. When is everybody, I know you're doing Ignite 9 to 12 every day, and I'm so glad you guys are, and you'll thank yourself later. When is it going on your calendar that you're going to do lead generating? Pop that in the chat, raise your hand. What do you think?
Well, I just have other thing. It doesn't have to do with this. It's my struggle. So I have a client that he wanted to sell and buy another property, but because the daughter advised him not to do it, he told me the probable thing to do in the summer. So because the holidays now, I wanted to do a follow-up. I sent him a Christmas card and I wanted to do a follow-up, but I don't know how to start a conversation and try to bring him back and see if he can do, if he wanted to sell his house early in the summer, because we never know when the market is going to change. So I don't know how can I start my conversation when I do the call this week. Do you have any idea?
Well, I would do, I don't remember now, I'm sorry who it was, but just say, hey, I'm just saying happy holidays, happy new year. And you're just gonna have to stay in touch with them. Any other advice, Roger?
So yeah, exactly what Deb said. So we're not going to change their time frame. If he's got it in his mind he wants to sell in the summer, don't worry about that. You just have to fill the gap between that. And what are you going to do? So, and I'll use Deb for the example. The calls you're going to be making, if he said the summer, you might call him once a month and just check in and say, hey, Deb, how's it going? I was just calling to check in. You mentioned you're thinking about selling in the summertime. I just wanted to check in and follow up as I said I would, and check to see if there's anything's changed with respects to your time frame. Give me a buzz. The next one might be, hey, Deb, how you doing? Listen, I was just calling to stay in touch. You know, I hope you're having a great spring or whatever the case may be. If you had a good holiday season, just following in to stay in touch, talk soon. Boom. Next one. And you just keep doing that. You know, mind you, if he picks up the phone, you're just saying the same thing, but you're just having a live conversation. You're just following up and staying in touch, because when he's ready, I want to know and I want to be ready for you. How's that sound?
Absolutely.
Make sense?
Yeah, thank you. I want to do that. I just don't know if the daughter told him not to do it, and he's just told me that he want to do in the summer, but his intention is not gonna do it. So that's my concern. But
yeah,
I think
Okay,
I'll
let's
just
play a
do it.
little-
Just
quick
stay in
little-
touch with them.
Yep. Quick little role play around that. I'm curious, what is your daughter's concern there? I'm curious, what is your concern there? You know, what are you worried about, or what are you concerned about? And they'll just tell you, well, what do you mean? What did she say? Why does she think the summer's a better time than right now? Let me talk
Actually,
to you
he
more
told
about
me.
your motivation.
He told me that she told him, why you want to change now? You don't know where you're going. You're going to like the new house. This, you living here for a long time. So he actually told me what's the concerns.
Well, that's a valid point, right?
Yeah.
You know,
It's
where are you
true.
going to go? Then I'd probe.
Yeah,
right
I
there.
know.
So what is our plan here when we sell the house? Where are we moving to? And
For a
where would
better
you like to move
place.
to, and what would that house look like? So this is this is qualifying. This is needs assessment. It's part of the listing presentation. It's that front end loaded. Same with the buyer's consultation. 70% of the time, you're just trying to find out what they're trying to do, what their goals and needs are, and why they're doing it, because we want to know their motivation. We want to check their motivation on a scale of 1 to 10. How motivated are you to sell, or how motivated are you to buy within the next 30 or 60 days? And if it's not an 8 or above, well, they're not that motivated. Probe more about motivation, and then probe into time frame. Well, if you're not so motivated right now, what would have to change to get you more motivated? Well, if I lost my job, or well, if you know, whatever life situations are going to enter into. I guarantee one thing: if they're going to sell or buy, something will change in the next time frame, and it's not always on their time frame. You know, you'll call that person in 60 days and they'll go, oh my God, I just bought a house. What?
Yeah, right. So stay in touch, stay in touch.
Well,
And,
yeah,
you know,
thank you.
Summer will be here before you know it anyways. You know, it
Well,
just.
Hopefully we need that.
Well, that brings up another good point there. So you say the summer. Tell me more about that. What's the summer to you, and what's the summer to somebody else? Might be something. Oh, the summer around July. Oh, okay. So that means we need to be talking 3 months prior to that. Because it's going to take us 2 or 3 months to identify a house, finance that house. So see, they're thinking July. You're thinking, oh, all right. So I'm going to be reaching out because I need to get you started. But in the meantime, what do you think about this? Why don't we get together and go over the process?
Let's
and
bring
we'll
the
sit
daughter
down
into the conversation.
We'll get a plan together for you. So when the time is right for you, you and I will be both ready and we'll be on the same track, same page. Sound good? What works best for you next Tuesday or Thursday?
Awesome.
All right. Thank you, sir, for the advice.
Yep,
Good
you're welcome.
advice. So the takeaway today in every chats, people are calling 9 to 11. They're going to do it right at lunchtime till 2. So get yourself organized, get your contacts in, talk to your market center trainer, make sure you get set up really clean and well, and get your tags in, follow that schedule, find that smart plan, and hit the ground running. It's January, we already look at Ryan, he's already got probably a buyer, so anybody else come up with maybe an appointment? All right, but that's all right. We made our calls, and every day you do it, it'll be like brushing your teeth. And you will do it a long time. And before you know it, it'll also help you filter out people that you maybe don't want in your database, and it'll certainly help you clean. And then as you move forward and you meet people as the world moves forward, add them, tag them, and get them into the rotation. And you guys will, that's it. Skills, mindset, skill set, and doing the activities. That's the difference between busy agents and not busy agents. Sitting around waiting for someone to call you, it's just not going to work, and it's just not going to work. So start with your people that know you, love you, trust you, care about you, and have your back, and then it'll branch out from there. So any last thoughts, Roger?
I don't. I think, the only thing, and I say this all the time, that, if you haven't read The One Thing by Gary Keller, or you don't have the MREA book, get those. The models are there. Read those as kind of like a resource, and just think about, well, the one thing you're going to do every day to move your business forward, and do that, and then move to the next thing. And everybody feels the same for the most part when they're starting out. It can be overwhelming. It is overwhelming. But if you just move through one thing at a time and master a script, one script, well, once you master that script, you'll find the other scripts a little easier, because they all start with the same, hey, how's it going? How are you today? My name's Roger Ring from Keller Williams.
Yeah.
I'm just giving you a quick call here to let you know about an open house down the street, and just wanted to invite the whole neighborhood to come by because I told the seller I would.
Right.
By the way, have you ever thought about selling your home as well?
Right. So lots of things, guys. So, congratulations on attending class today. Thank you so much, Ben. You was a great resource. Tomorrow is an excellent class, setting goals that matter. Let's get some goals going so you can figure out how many appointments you do need. I think we taught that one last month.
We did. And just to give you guys a little hint, I'm glad you segued into that. Start thinking about that now. They're going to ask you tomorrow, what is your goal money-wise? What are your expenses? What things, what's your big why? Why are you doing this? What do you want to do with it? I want to be able to put my kids through college, those type of ideas. There's an exercise that you'll do tomorrow, and you're solving for the amount of money you need to create the life that you want, and they call it the life by design and things of that nature. And you'll go over the thing called the 411, and it's just kind of give you a little tidbit there. And that's the game plan that you're going to do. The 411 is, annual goal divided into 12 months, divided into 4 weeks. What are the activities and tasks, as Deb just alluded to? What are you going to do every day to get you to that big goal?
Like a job. You got to go to work every day and do something. Right. And I think that's important.
One more thing I just wanted to add really quickly, and that's about confidence. As a new agent, when I was going in, my confidence level was not there whatsoever.
It was negative what, right?
Now I'm extremely confident, but I got there systematically. So how I did it was, I thought to myself, okay, the person that would be confident in this situation would have done these trainings, would have read these books. Then what I did was I made sure to do that training and read those books. And then if I didn't believe in myself again, I would be like, well, okay, if I redo that training and I redo those books, after I do that again, I'm going to have the confidence. Then I go through it. If I don't have the confidence, I do the same thing. Okay, I'm going to take Ignite again. I'm going to apply all these lessons again. I'm going to read The Millionaire Real Estate Agent again. I'm going to read The One Thing again, because at the end of the day, any of these classes, trainings, books you're reading, all of it means absolutely nothing if you're just reading it, if you're just watching it. What we care about is applying the lessons within those books, applying the lessons within Ignite in order to help your business.
Awesome. That's exactly
Well
right.
said.
You got to be in it to win it and get it done for sure. So thank you, everybody, for showing up. Thank you to my co-host. And I stumbled in the beginning. My program was screwed up and I hate that. I hate when I'm in a class and it's not right. But really, it's all about getting stuff in your database and calling people up. That's what you do.
Well, Deb, you gave a good lesson for struggle, right? Just muddle through it, move through it. You'll get there.
Right.
Learn.
So for
move
those
on.
of you who connected and are going to do some script practicing partnerships, just do it. Pick a time, do that text first, who's who, and you're going to, and then at the end, you know, critique each other a little bit, you know, listen to people's tone, their speed, you know, make sure they're not salesy, you know, nobody wants a real estate agent that doesn't care, you know, it doesn't sound, you know, like they really want to talk to you. So it's all good. All right, guys. Good to see you.
All right,
Take it
thanks,
easy.
Deb.
Have a great day tomorrow and make those
Thank you
phone
very
calls. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thanks, Ben.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. Thanks, Ben.